Hello everyone and welcome to my July TBR. So this TBR is quite ambitious and it's not really set in stone because I can't really make up my mind what I'm in the mood for right now. I'm kind of wanting to read kind of gritty psychological thrillers, but I'm also kind of wanting some fluffy contemporary, so I don't really know, and this TBR may change as July rolls on, but these are the books that I do want to consider reading this month. So I have two review books to read this month, which I of course will definitely read and review, and one of those is The Upstairs Room by Kate Murray Brown. This is about a family who buy their dream Victorian townhouse in East London, and when they move in, the woman in the family starts to sense a very eerie, spooky atmosphere about the place. They have a young lodger who the husband is getting a little bit weirdly close to, and but the woman is kind of almost like ignoring this fact because she's become so consumed by the atmosphere in this house, and she finds the name Emily written hundreds of times on the walls in the upstairs room. So sounds really interesting. I'm really excited to see exactly what's going on here. It doesn't come out until July the 27th, so I don't know if I will be reading it until later on this month, but yeah, I certainly will be reading and reviewing it for you. The next one that I need to review this month is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is about a woman whose teenage daughter goes missing, and then 10 years later she meets and falls in love with a man who has a 9-year-old daughter, and when she meets his daughter, this little girl is the exact image of this daughter that she lost 10 years before, and this obviously throws up a load of questions. She becomes more determined to find out what happened to her daughter. Sounds very interesting and mysterious. Again, it comes out on July 27th, so I probably won't be reading it until later on this month, but I certainly will be reading and reviewing it for you guys this month. Now on to the other books that I want to read this month. This is a supernatural fan fiction book called The Unholy Cause. I have read a few of these books before. They are fan fiction, so they're not the best written things in the world. This one is by Joe Schreiber, but they are written by all different authors. I will read you the blurb of this one. Way back in 1862, Confederate Captain Jubal Beauchamp leads a charge across the Georgia battlefield. Fast forward to the present day, and a Civil War reenactment on the same site becomes all too real. When Sam and Dean head down south to investigate, they discover that the past really isn't dead. So it sounds very vague, but a Civil War reenactment that has turned a little bit too violent and a little bit too real. So that sounds really interesting, and I haven't been watching any Supernatural recently, so I need some more Winchester in my life, so hopefully this is going to give me that fix. The next book that I want to read this month is Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. This is a sequel to The Savage Song, which I read and reviewed last year. I will link my review to The Savage Song in the description down below. It is totally spoiler free, so if you do want to have a read of that, then maybe pick that up. I don't know whether this is a duology or a trilogy, but this is the second book. This Savage Song is basically about a world where humans and monsters are living on opposite sides of a divided city, and basically these two teenagers, one from each side, end up at school together, and they kind of realise that actually the line between humans and monsters isn't actually as clear as they've always been led to believe. Very interesting, certainly in our sort of political climate, the kind of lines between what's good and what's bad, it's very relevant to now. There's also no romance in this series, certainly not as of yet anyway. I don't know whether there is going to be some in this book, but there wasn't any in the Savage Song, which I found really interesting for a YA dystopian. So yeah, I'm excited to see whether that continues. The next one that I want to read this month is I'm Travelling Alone by Samuel Bjork. This is a Scandinavian crime thriller book. I will read you at the back of it. When the body of a young girl is found hanging from a tree, the only clue the police have is an airline tag around her neck. It reads, I'm travelling alone. In response, police investigator Holger Munch is charged with assembling a special homicide unit, but to complete the team, he must track down his former partner, Mia Kruger, a brilliant but troubled detective who has retreated to a solitary island with plans to kill herself. Reviewing the file, Mia finds something new, a thin line carved into the dead girl's fingernail, the number 1. This is only the beginning. To save other children from the same fate, she must find a way to cast aside her own demons and stop this murderer from becoming a serial killer. So it's been a while since I've read something like this, so yeah, I'm really interested in this, and hopefully I will get a chance to pick it up this month. And now finally onto the Harry Potter books that I will be reading for the Harry Potter readathon this month. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which is of course a book 6. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is of course a book 7, and The Tales of Beedle the Bard. This is a little collection of fairy tales that Hermione inherits in Dumbledore's will. So this will complete the Harry Potter readathon for me. I know on the official readathon schedule they're reading The Cursed Child in the first week of August, but because I wasn't a massive fan of that book, I don't know whether I will be rereading The Cursed Child. So I think after I've read this little lot, then that will be the end of the Harry Potter readathon for me, and I've had the best time with it, as you guys know. So yeah, really looking forward to finishing off that. And that is it for my July TBR. What books do you want to read this month? Please let me know. I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. As I said, this TBR isn't exactly set in stone because I do actually want to pick up Hot Pterodactyl Boyfriend, which I didn't manage to pick up in June. So I really want to pick that up as soon as possible. So yeah, I guess I can throw that on this TBR too. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.